Greetings from Baghdad. Behind me is a swimming pool. This is one of the swimming pools at one of the various mansions that was owned by Saddam Hussein. We are the last congressional delegation that's ever going to stay here. The embassy used this area as a place to put up visiting dignitaries. What's noteworthy about that are a couple of things. One, the fact that Saddam Hussein, as we now well know, was toppled by our invasion. We also now know that years later, finally the United States government and our footprint is getting smaller and smaller here in Iraq. That's the good news. The bad news is how long it took for this to happen. The bad news is how ill-prepared we were for the invasion. And frankly, today we're finally seeing some signs of success. The irony of the visit so far is how many military leaders who have done a remarkable job in many respects are now bragging about the success we've had, doing some of the things that many people talked about us doing at the very beginning. At the beginning of the invasion, even before it happened, folks at the State Department and USAID put out a big document about some of the things that we should be ready for in case we did ultimately wind up invading this country. None of them were done. The Department of Defense chose to go in using the point of the sword rather than realizing that diplomacy and understanding the nuances of this country were probably just as important. Well, now it's finally starting to happen, and we're going to hopefully soon be seeing a day after the passage of the forces initiative that has now said that we as the American people, as our soldiers, are going to be able to leave Iraq and finally give this country back to the people to whom it belongs. We're going to be here for a couple more days. We're doing some visits with the top of the brass, the top of the military food chain and the diplomatic food chain here in Baghdad, and then we're back to Kuwait for our next stop in Afghanistan. I'll try to give you a report from there as well. But I want to tell you, this is a truly eerie feeling to be standing here, knowing how much blood and treasure went into taking Iraq back from Saddam Hussein, and also know how many terrible mistakes were made along the way.